Hello everyone and welcome back to EduTap. So as we all know that SEBI Grade A exam is about to happen and it's around the corner only, and the most of the students are mailing us each and every day like what we have to do for commerce and accounts. So in this particular sessions, my friend, we are going to answer all of your doubts which are related to commerce and accounts. I know that commerce and accounts is a very haunting subject for all those who are coming from non-commerce background. But believe it, my friends, if you have some dedicated study regarding commerce and accounts, it's one of the most interesting subject which you will see. For example, if you are understanding the nitty-gritties of commerce and accounts, you will definitely gain extra knowledge, and with that particular extra knowledge you can definitely score good marks in this particular component which is commerce and accounts. So let's start with this particular class, and before starting I have a very good news for you rather, which is related to the SEBI grade A. Now, my dear friends, we spend endless time when it comes to finding all the details regarding SEBI Grade A. But what we have done is that we have released one specific guidebook for you. In this particular guidebook, you will find A to Z of SEBI Grade A preparation. So, for example, if I read it for you, I am just opening the first page and I will come to know that what SEBI is all about. In the second page, you will come to know regarding what are the job offers which are offered at SEBI. Moreover, then you move forward, you will come to know regarding how is this overall SEBI syllabus is happening. You will come to know regarding different sources. What are the different sources which we have to use for SEBI Grade A? And my dear friends, one of my favorite, or I should say one of my favorite page on this particular guidebook is related to this. This is the salary structure which we have also given in this particular guidebook. So if you become SEBI Grade A, then you definitely have a total CTC of more than 20 lakhs. And that is the most motivating factor for me if I study for SEBI Grade A. Okay. So now I am giving you this particular guidebook for free. You can download this particular guidebook from the link which has been given in the description box below. So it's completely free. If I was on your place, I would have definitely downloaded this guidebook for free. Now let's begin with our session. See, my friends, currently I know you might be having multiple doubts like what to study, how to study, what are the different topics which we have to study regarding SEBI Grade A. Believe me, as a student, I also have certain doubts, but when you have a proper guidance and when you have a proper timetable and when you have a proper revision strategy, all these doubts are like, they chale jate hai wo log. So, in this particular agenda, in this particular session, the overall agenda of this particular session is to answer all of your queries. For example, we are going to answer all the queries which are being asked by the students over the mail. That's why we have this initiative. We will have one video which will answer all these queries. For example, first we will understand what are the different topics. What are the different topics which we have to study for SEBI Grade A. Then what are the different sources? Kahan se padhe? Kaise padhe? That is also one of the major concern. Then we have what is an apt timetable. I have clearly used apt over here. Apt means appropriate timetable. For example, if a student who is from a working background, he is working 9 to 6 job, then how he can prepare for this particular component. And at last, we will also discuss regarding revision. Each and every day, like we have a old adage, like an apple a day keeps a doctor away. So same thing here as well. Revision, if you have a complete revision schedule in your mind, then you can definitely score good marks in this component, which is the most haunting component. Before moving ahead, my friends, I have a particular disclaimer for you which relates to this. Now, what is this disclaimer, my friends? I want to give you one caution note. What is that particular caution note? See, I want you to do not target perfection and do not try to become a pro. Because in SEBI Grade A exam, you will see in phase 1, I am assuming that SEBI will ask 8 questions from commerce and accounts, and same pattern will follow in the phase 2 as well. Now there can be a range of 8 to 10 questions, but I am assuming that SEBI will ask 8 questions. Sorry for my bad handwriting, but this is how it goes. So SEBI will definitely ask minimum of 8 questions. Now, do not try to become a pro. Do not try to answer all 8 out of 8 questions. All you need to do is just answer 6 questions out of this 8 questions and you are good to go. I am assuming that SEBI will ask most toughest paper in the history. If they are asking the most toughest paper in the history, then also, my friends, you can easily attempt 5 questions. Now, why I am saying like you can easily attempt, because see, commerce and accounts is completely limited. There is a certain limited portion which you have to study. There is certain limited rules which you have to gaps and which you have to mugify. You will have to do some, in Hindi I have that particular word, rectification. You will have to do a lot of ratna over here, and when you do that particular part, when you bear that particular pain, your selection is guaranteed, because commerce and accounts is quite scoring as well. Because as I said, syllabus is limited. You do not have to be worrisome regarding like finance and management. In management, they can ask anything because management is wide open. Same goes with finance as well. But in commerce and accounts, you will not see any current affairs question. Plus, you will see only concept which is based on the syllabus which has been given in SEBI. So I hope this particular disclaimer is very much clear and feeded in your minds. Do not try to become a pro. You do not have to be a chartered accountant in one day. I will give you a proper plan of 25 days, and you cannot become a CA in 25 days. Okay, so respect those people who are from chartered accountants. I respect all those particular people who are CA. But I am right now giving you a plan which will definitely help you to score 6 out of 8 questions in the most toughest paper which SEBI is going to ask in 2023. And mind you, if SEBI is asking easy paper, then my friends, you can also score 8 out of 8 as well. There is no foundation. So let's now start this particular session and let's understand what are the different components. So beginning with the topics first. So if you see the syllabus of SEBI Grade A exam related to commerce and accounts, you will see that they have given one small paragraph based of type of syllabus, and within paragraph they have given some subtopics. Okay, so what I have done for you is that I have reduced certain, I have literally decoded each and every component of the SEBI Grade A exam. For example, I have given you a list of 9 chapters on this particular slide, and you will also see some additional chapters on the next slide. But talking regarding this particular slide, your chapter number 1 or the topic which you have to study for SEBI Grade A is your introduction to accounting. In this particular chapter, very basic, I would say a cakewalk chapter. You will just have to understand that what accounting means, what are the different objectives, need, importance of accounting. Hardly a 2-hour chapter if you are studying in a dedicated manner. Okay, I'm saying in a dedicated manner. I'm not saying that you are checking your phone over here and using your accounts book over here. So you just have to dedicate I think maximum 2 hours, and this particular chapter is done. So your chapter, you have a great start. Then moving to chapter 2, theory base of accounting. Again, a very basic chapter. You will come across various accounting conventions. Like we all know that Newton has given 3 principles. Like I don't remember them, but I know that Newton has given certain principles. In the same way, there are certain principles and conventions which work in accounting, my friends. So when these particular conventions are handy, you will be able to understand that how different conventions are happening. So a very easy chapter, I would say hardly 3-hour chapter max to max, because these are very basic chapters, my friends. Because if you combine these 2 chapters, your basic foundation will be laid. Okay. Moving ahead is chapter 3 and 4, which is recording of transactions. Okay. So I hope you have seen your like father or any grandparents which are maintaining records. So this particular chapter deals with the recording of transactions. Okay. For example, in this particular chapter, you will understand the ledger, what is ledger and what is journal as well. Now, my dear friends, this chapter, according to me, chapter number 3 is the most important. Why I am saying this? Because this chapter will form your basics part. When your basics are strong, then no one can stop you to score good marks. I have one particular theory, saying which my teacher used to say, and he used to say that journal entries are like AK-47 in the accounting. Why AK-47? If you are stuck in any situation in accounting, if you know the journal entry, you can easily cross that particular situation. Why AK-47? Because if you see, AK-47 is a all-weather gun. उसको कहीं भी लेके चल जाओ, लद्दाख कहीं पे भी वो चलेगी, अच्छे से चलेगी. And most of the army people says that AK-47 is all-weather gun. In the same manner, if you talk about accounting, journal, my friends, journal is the AK-47 of accounting. आप कहीं भी रुक जाओ, आपको उस ट्रांजेक्शन की अगर जर्नल एंट्री आती है, then you can solve that particular question easily. By the word easily, I mean if you know the journal concepts easily. Now, how to remember journal concepts? There are 3 very basic rules which you have to again learn and implement. As simple as that. Okay. So you have to use your journal, and if your journal is strong, then trial balance and ledger are very basic. I would say if you have learned journal very well, then trial balance is hardly a 20 minutes game. hardly a half an hour game, or you can take half an hour, assuming that you will spend 10 minutes on your phone. I am saying this with confidence, my friends. If you are doing journal and ledger completely by basics, I'm not saying that you are going on a higher level. I'm just saying if you do journal and ledger completely अच्छे से, मतलब basic level पे, then this particular chapter is like a most easiest chapter, trial balance. You just have to understand the structure and just post the entries. So again, all these 5 chapters will form your basics. So if you are spending time on your basics, that is really very good. And I will prove that if you are able to solve all the journal entries, then that will particular subject will also help you in advanced chapters, which is accounting standards and preparing journal entries for special accounting treatments. We will come to that. Okay. Now, trial balance, as I have told you, if you have a proper understanding of these 2 subjects, these 2 topics or chapters, then you are good to go. Bills of exchange, income statement and balance sheet, ratios and cash flow. These are certain, I would say, professional chapters. Why professional? Because these require certain attention. But in this particular set, that is chapter 6, 7 and 8, bills of exchange is again based on journal entries only. If your journal entries is strong, bills of exchange would hardly take 1 hour only. Okay. Income statement and balance sheet, my friend. See, income statement and balance sheet, we will understand what is the overall structure of a balance sheet. We will understand that how different components of balance sheet are placed. Okay. Again, a very basic chapter if your concepts are clear. Okay. I am focusing on concepts, my friend. Okay. Ratio analysis. Ratio analysis over here means that if you are understanding different parameters of a business, you will use certain ratios, like what is current ratio, what is your operating ratio, so on and so forth. So ratio analysis is really very important for phase 2 exam, phase 2 paper, because there are multiple questions which have been asked from this particular domain only. So what I will advise you is that in phase 1 or till phase 1, I would say you can prepare the basic questions, and when it comes to the phase 2, you will have to prepare all the advanced level questions. Cash flow, my friends, again a very basic chapter, provided that you understand the structure. Like there are 3 activities in cash flow. I hope if you are new to the concept of cash flow, you will understand it in the later part. But at the end of the day, again, this particular chapter is a doable chapter for phase 2. I am not expecting many questions from cash flow when it comes to the phase 1. So I will also share one golden rule with you, that how you can score good marks in the SEBI Grade A. Okay. So this is the first 9 chapters which you should do, and I will give you a proper timetable also, via which you will be able to have a complete oversight. So this is the list of 9 chapters. Focus on chapter 3 most, because chapter 3 is the one of the most basic chapters. You will understand the 3 basic rules of accounting, which are also known as golden rules. And then I have told you journal entries are like AK-47. कहीं भी चलाओ चल जाएगी AK-47. So same thing applies to all the different chapters. Moving ahead, my friends. Now this is you right now. This particular person who is standing on that particular corner is you. What to follow, what not to follow. I have told you that which chapter you have to focus most on, which is chapter 3. Okay, so if you are having a strong hold on chapter 3, then you are doing good work for you. Now let's move ahead. Okay, so this is again a sophisticatedly prepared list of chapters which will help you. Now that particular component, that is before up to 1 to chapter 9, can be dealt with basics only, but SEBI is asking questions based on professional knowledge as well. That's why chapter 10, 11 and 13, which is relating to the accounting of specialized transactions. Okay, see what is journal. Journal will help you in each and everything. In chapter 10, 11, 13 and 14, chapter 10, 11, 12 and 13, again you will use journal entries. For example, if you talk about share capital transactions, there is a particular set of 5 transactions which you have to learn. And why you have to learn? Because there is a traditional way of representing things. The same thing is happening in this particular chapter as well. Again, I am saying regarding bonus issue, ESOPs and buybacks of share. You just have to understand the concept of ESOP, apply the journal entry, and you are done away. That's why I'm saying journal entry is the basic thing which you should understand. If you are done with journal ho gaya, then you will move to the ledger part. Ledger is like just copy pasting from journal. Then you are done with your trial balance. If your ledger is ready, then trial balance is hardly a 20-minute game, my friends. It's not that much tough. And if your journal is strong, if you understand why we are debiting that particular account and why we are crediting this particular account, then chapter 10, 11, 12 and 13 are also done for you. Okay, and mind you, my friends, there are different cases. Like in ESOPs, you will understand there are different cases. You can study them in a very basic manner. For example, in phase one, if I am completing 80% of my account syllabus till phase one, then I am only left with 20% for phase two, and in that particular 20%, I just need to practice more and more questions. So just cover the basics. Okay, just cover the basics, my friend. If your basics are clear, then no one can stop you to become a good accountant for SEBI grade only. Okay, and then we move to the accounting standards. Now, this particular subject is giving haunts, is giving bad dreams to many people because of accounting standards only. Now, see, accounting standards is nothing but just a way of representation that how you have to learn and implement certain rules. So accounting standards, you just have, see, this is the part where you have to just understand the importance of chapter 2, which is theory base of accounting. Many of the accounting conventions are repeated in accounting standards only. So if you are covering top 5 chapters अच्छे से, then again your basics in this particular chapter will be tested, and if you have studied them अच्छे से, then this particular chapter is again, I would say, not a cakewalk, but you will get a certain advantage. Then moving to spatial accounting treatment, spatial accounting accounting standards, my friend. Chapter 16 is regarding revenue recognition, that how you have to follow the concept of revenue recognition. Chapter 17, my friends, foreign transactions. If I talk regarding PFRDA 2021 exam, not the recent one, there was one question related to foreign transactions which was asked in phase 2. A very halwa question, basic question, but people get scared कि यार ये कैसे होगा. I will just tell you that how a 12th class student will be able to solve that particular question within less than 30 seconds. Okay. And in this particular paper of PFRD, which was just conducted, I think on in the last week itself, they have asked many questions from accounting standards. They have asked many questions from Indian accounting standards like Indi AS and everything. So when you are going deep into this particular subject, mind you, you will have to understand the basics first. Like what is the basic structure of an accounting standard, how it is getting implemented, and again there will be journal entries which will be tested. So again, I'm saying you journal entries will going to help you like for each and everything. Now, talking about chapter 18, accounting standards for property, plant and equipment, very important chapter. You will understand that what are fixed assets and so on and so forth, and you will also understand the most important concept which is related to depreciation. Depreciation is very easy. लोगों ने यही हाइप बना रखा है, कुछ नहीं, बहुत इजी है, सिर्फ एक अच्छे सोर्स से पढ़ना है आपको, एक ही सोर्स पढ़ो, उसको डीप लेके जाओ बस. Then we come to accounting standards for investment, hardly a 3-hour chapter if you are studying with the dedication and diligence. Then comes the preparation of final company accounts. This is the chapter which is like I would say bulky chapter, because you will have to understand that what is trading account, what is PLL account, what is balance sheet and so on and so forth. But mind you, my friends, this particular chapter is again based on basics. I am repeating each and everything. Do first 5 chapters in a very good manner, cover as many concepts as you can, and you are good to go. Then chapter 21 is like again a very basic chapter, hardly a 1 hour chapter for you to cover, and you can sail through this particular chapter easily. So again, if I talk regarding the strategy part, I have told you regarding each and every chapter. I cannot tell you each and every chapter in detail, because if I tell you, then this particular video will become a 3 hour long. Okay. So now let's move ahead. Anji, so now we are going to talk regarding timetable. See, what I have assumed is that you are going to study for 3 hours each and every day for coming 25 days. So this is a dedicated study for 25 days for 3 hours a day. You are just educating 3 hours a day, and you are also focusing on other subject, which is economics, finance, management. Okay. So I hope you are serious. And I have keep a buffer of 3 days. So my overall timetable is of 22 days only. Within 22 days, you can easily clear the phase 1 question. But after those particular days, you will have to practice some more for phase 2. Okay. So now let's begin with this timetable. The timetable first starts with chapter 1 and chapter 2. A very basic chapter. You can also complete chapter 21 over here. And this is very easy. You just need to, we just read books. In the same manner, you have to just read the books. Take maximum of 2 days to complete it. Maximum of 2 days. If you can finish in the 1 day only, you are good to go. Okay, now let's move ahead. In the second slot, you have to finish chapter 3, 4 and 5. Now I have This is related to basics. If your basics are strong, you are good to go. Now, my dear friends, I have kept 4 days for this particular chapter. 3 chapters, 4 days, enough. Okay. Now, especially in trial balance, I have just told you, focus on chapter 3. If your chapter 3 is strong, chapter 5 is like just a cakewalk. It will be done in 20 minutes only. 4 days specifically for 3 chapters, because you have to practice a lot of journal entries. You have to be a master of journal entries. You do not have to be a jack. You will have to be the master. It should be on your tips. For example, अगर एसेट बढ़ रहा है तो उसको डेबिट ही होना है, एसेट कम हो रहा है तो उसको क्रेडिट होना है. It should be on your tips. अगर वो tips पे हो गया, then no one can stop you. Moving ahead, again I have told you, chapter 21 is a 1 hour read. You can finish it in this particular slot itself, or you can finish it in this particular slot as in time allowed you. Moving ahead, my friends, now we will understand chapter 6, 7 and 8. Again, I am giving you this as a moderate level, because if your journal entries are strong, then this is easy. But if your journal entries are low, or your AK-47 will not work. Okay, so bills of exchange purely based on journal entries only. If your journal entries are good, you will kill it. Chapter 7, 8 and 9. If you are focusing on chapter 7 first, I will recommend you to leave cash flow for the phase 2. But right now for the phase 1, I will say you that complete chapter 7 first, and then move to the chapter ratios. Ratios mein again there are multiple set of ratios. You will have to cram up lot of formulas. Okay, so that is the part where I was saying that you will have to mugify a lot of things. Again, minimum of 4 days, maximum of 4 days, maximum of 4 days. Each day you can complete one chapter. Then comes the accounting treatment for special transactions. This is again moderate. Why moderate? Because if your journal entries are strong, this particular chapter will be moderate. Just focus on different rules, and at the end you will apply journal entries only. You just have to understand that what is the rule which is working, apply the journal entry, and you are done away with your answer. Okay, so again, maximum of 4 days. So I am assuming that you will give at least 4 days to these 4 chapters as well. Moving ahead, coming to accounting standards now. Again, accounting standards, I have told you, they are good chapters. They can give some toughness to the overall component of commerce and accounts, but again, focus on the journal entries and the basic parts. Here also, my friends, you will see different concepts which are getting tested on the journal entries itself. A very, I would say, sophisticated chapters if taken care of. Maximum of 4 days here as well. And then you come to the last some chapters which is related to accounting standard of property, plant and equipment. This chapter and preparation of final accounts. These 2 chapters are like quite bulky. So you will have to give some time, or I would say you can first complete chapter 18 and then you can move to chapter 18 and 20. A bulky chapters, but again, concept is the basic, that is you have to implement the journal entries only. Moving ahead, my friends. So this was the overall timetable. Now I have certain golden words for you. Till phase 1, I am assuming that 28 January they will be conducting their phase 1, or not taking any date. Let's take it in the last week only. So you still have more than 1 month to go. Till phase 1, build your concepts. Concepts tips पे लेके आ जाओ, journal entries tips पे लेके आ जाओ, trial balance अपने आप हो जाएगा, बाकी सब अपने आप हो जाएगा. Journal entries is the key. I myself am telling you that my own experience when I was understanding accounting standards and each and everything, I have only understood journal entries. There are only journal entries and journal entries, nothing else. Okay. In phase 2, test your concepts. For example, let's take, I am in this particular phase, I am only doing the basic level questions. But in phase 2, my friends, I will do the higher advanced questions. Now, where I will get those higher advanced question, numbers of places are there. You just need to first build your concepts till phase 1. And after your phase 1 is cleared, then in the span of 20 to 25 days, solve as many questions as possible. Like if you are serious for SEBI Grade A, target 500 questions at least for commerce and accounts combinedly. That is much doable, hardly, or you can also use I should say different test series and telegram groups. Solve as many questions as possible. So this is my golden words for you. Okay. Now moving ahead, my friends, what are the sources which you can follow? See, for basic topics which I mean the top 5, you can follow the NCRTs of 11th and 12th. For example, in NCRT of 11th, you will understand that what accounting is all about and so on and so forth. But in class 12, you will move to the higher standard. If you do not have access to the NCRTs, then you can follow my personal favorite guide, which is of DK Goel, which was followed by all the CBSE students. And if you are not having NCRT, if you are not even having DK Goel, then you can do I should say T.S. Garewal. Okay, T.S. Garewal is also a good book. I will definitely want to advise you that if you are left with the options, like if you are not having NCRT, if you are not having DK Goel, then move to this particular option. But if you ask me, arrange for these two books. These two books are like must do. DK Goel, class 11th, and DK Goel class 12th. Now, these books will not cover your accounting standards part, because accounting standards is not covered in the CBSE in 11th, 12th. For that, you will have to follow the ICI material. That is, it is freely available, and you can follow all the questions of higher level on that particular website as well. You can download the PDFs. You will definitely get much value addition. But yes, you will have to keep yourself limited, because these particular books are made for students who are targeting CA. So I will request you to please have your focus, and I have given you the list. I have given you the timetable. Follow that judiciously. Okay, my friends, now what is the time for revision? Now is the time for revision. So first point in revision, my friends, question bank, or you can also say mocks. Practice as many mocks as possible. For phase 1, I will say focus on the concepts first. Okay, I have told you regarding the golden words previously as well. For point 2, make handy notes, not bulky. Handy notes means that I am keeping all the rules of journal entries. I am keeping the formulas of all the ratios. I am keeping a specimen of the income statement and balance sheet, and so on and so forth. For example, if I'm keeping the accounting standard, what basically accounting standards of an inventory says, simple, just make handy notes of hardly 5 pages so that you can revise them at the last stage. Revise the basics, my friend, multiple times. Remember, basics is the key in accounts. If you are not going to study journal entries, and if you are directly going to accounting standards, sorry to say, आपका selection नहीं हो पाएगा. Why? Because at that stage you will have to do a lot of, I should say, cramming up. But if you are understanding journal entries first and then moving to accounting standards, then your life will be easy. Don't target to become a pro. Just do basics part. Just practice multiple numericals and you are good to go. Do not try to become pro. Remember the formula of 6 by 8. If 8 questions are asked, then I will have to solve 6 questions 100% rightly. Okay? If the paper is tough. If paper is not tough, then you can also score 7 or 8. Now, regarding time management, my friends, many people say that there are bulky numericals. There will be bulky numericals in paper too. Yes, there will be there. They will be there. But you will have to save your time in easy questions and invest your time in these questions. Okay, now what for example, in the last year, Companies Act question were pretty much doable. They were like, if you know it, you know the answer, you can move it in very fast forward manner, and you can invest the save time in the commerce and account. So practice all those bulky numericals till phase 2. I hope I have given each and everything for you now. So that's why it's time to end our class. I hope the session was interesting for you, and target to become strong in journal entries, that is basic parts. So that is it for my friends. I hope the session was interesting for you, and yes, you can subscribe to our YouTube and Telegram channel for the free stuff. So thank you everyone. Bye bye, and meet you in the next lecture.